All right, today we will show you some tips and tricks for using air brake antifreeze. First, we will be using this type of air brake antifreeze. I personally like it in what's basically a ketchup bottle because it's got a lot finer tip. If you don't have a ketchup bottle, just use the lid from a hydraulic or gear oil bottle to make it easier on yourself. You just take the top off the bottle and it'll thread right on there. It gives you a nice little squirter bottle to squirt the air brake antifreeze in. Now the truck I'm servicing is a Volvo with an ISX, which has a nice little port down in there. Some trucks have ports and some trucks do not. Some trucks make it really easy to get the discharge hose off at the compressor. So if I wanted to get some air brake antifreeze in this system and back to the air dryer, I would put a hose on that port there. Then I would take my antifreeze and, well, just pour it down the hose. Or try to anyway. Then I would put shop air on here and it would push the air brake antifreeze all the way through the whole system, including the air dryer. A good practice to use if your air dryer is frozen up is to feed antifreeze in from the front, and it will go through to your air dryer and your discharge line, breaking out any ice in the middle of the winter. If it's frozen from your air dryer out, you can actually just take your cartridge off, which I have already done here, as you can see, and just pour it down the center port of the dryer. Then you can use a rubber tip blowgun and blow it into the tanks. That will help thaw out the outlet side of the dryer and the line from the dryer to the wet tank. That's option 2, and it is a good way to flush or dissipate moisture in the system because the air brake antifreeze will go from the air dryer into the wet tank. From the wet tank, it will get fed into the primary and secondary tanks. Now, if you have frozen tanks, you can just go straight into the back of these tanks by taking your top fitting off in the back. Here's our wet tank, and this part of the tank is our purge tank or turbo purge for the style of air compressor or air dryer we're using. Then you have your primary and secondary tanks. If you want to put it straight into these tanks here, just take a fitting out of the back and put your antifreeze in there. Once you've dissipated the moisture, you can open your pet cocks and drain the moisture out of the system. These are the basics of getting air brake antifreeze into your air system to either keep ice from building or to dissolve ice that has occurred.
Just fix the truck!